journey to 1500. Welcome back. I'm trying to alternate at the moment between games and puzzles. I think it's an important part of my training, so today we're just going to have a quick look at the rated puzzles. And a quick look back at the history shows us that we've been steadily climbing up towards 2070. We did peak at 2080 a couple of days ago. We got back up there yesterday. So that's where we're heading on from today. I'm going to switch across and start the first puzzle. Okay, and just quickly before I put my face back on, white to move, calculate correctly, and you'll win material. White to move, calculate correctly, and you'll win material. So I'm trying to do these verbally without doing too many arrows at the moment. So what are we seeing? Queen is lined up with king, but queen takes g5 check doesn't work. The knight can give checks, but knight f5 check maybe. I mean, knight f5 check if rook takes f5, then queen takes f5. That's possibly an improvement on the position. Getting back the exchange. Then you would look at things like queen takes g5 check, rook takes g5. Is there some fork that is really beneficial, but I can't see it? Knight f5 check, rook takes, and then does queen d4 check do anything? I don't think so. Trying to visualize it again. No. Okay, so knight f5 is my main kind of move. So how about knight e6 check? The pawn, maybe the queen even takes. And I don't have a follow-up. I've also got c takes b6. Trade off a weakness. There's some merit to that move. In a real game I might play rook d1, set up a discovery. Let's focus in on knight. I'm just going to quickly look through the pawns, the h pawn, f pawn, e pawn, a pawn. I don't see any pawn moves. Looking at my other knight moves, any of the backwards moves don't make a lot of sense to me. And only at that moment do I see knight takes c6. So I've only just seen that knight takes c6 is an option. That's taken me far too long. After knight takes c6, do they have anything? Don't think my queen's trapped. Knight takes c6, just winning the queen. Don't think there's a lot more to say about that. I'm just going to play that now. So sometimes you get to these harder levels and it's just maybe it is hard for a number of people, or maybe I just miss it. I think the challenge is not expecting there to just be a hanging queen in the position. You haven't worked to the position, so good to remember to just stop and look at what things can take. Let's move on to the next puzzle. And it says black to move, can you find a way to win the knight? Okay. How trapped is the knight at the moment? Oh, so initially I looked at h6 and see that maybe the knight jumps back to e4. Then I see maybe rook f4 defended by the pawn. I think actually maybe I should play that move first because their queen is fairly trapped, and it then goes back and blocks an important square. But the knight could potentially just go back to f3 anyway, so rook f4. I was envisaging the queen having to go back to h3, but now I see that my light squared bishop covers h3. So if my rook goes to f4, maybe they block it with the rook, and then I can attack the knight maybe. Wondering which order I play these moves in. Rook f4 and h6 are definitely in consideration. Rook f4, rook blocks, h6, knight back. Oh, rook f4, if rook blocks then rook or bishop can take. Maybe rook takes and then I'm winning the knight. I like rook f4. Maybe they sacrifice the knight to my light squared bishop in order to preserve their queen. Okay. Or they trade off the queen and you win the knight after they trade back. I think I got the general gist of it. Found the right attack. Didn't find the exact follow-up, but yep. So the last puzzle of the 3 for today. If we get it right, we should be confidently above 2080, maybe 2090. And it says white to move. You have a chance to promote a pawn soon. What comes next? So it's an endgame puzzle, rook and pawn endgame. Maybe rook takes a2 check. Rook takes a2 is almost forced. h7. There's no way for them to defend that with the rook in time. So they're going to play c3. h8 equals queen. Then they can play c2. And then I can play something. Or we push the h7 first. Their only move is rook d8. Then I take their pawn with check. They have to move. Then I can come across to a position where I can defend my pawn or attack their pawns. So this is difficult because it's quite a few moves down the line. So do we want to play h7 and they defend with their rook on d8? Then I take their pawn with check, stack up against their c pawns. They get rook h8 in. I can take one or maybe at least one of those pawns. Fairly equal endgame. Better for me to go and defend my advanced pawn. Or is it much better to sacrifice my rook and get the queen? I think that's what the puzzle's asking for, because it's a brilliant move. And they didn't need us to follow up beyond that. And a little bit being a puzzle pushed me towards making that decision. Doesn't always mean it's right. Come back for my next video and you'll find the next game in my series, but I'm sure you can find the latest one as well if you have it on your screen now.